Pricing Masters, your code to unlock the profitability and growth of your company. The best pricing and monetization strategies from ValueShip's experts.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome into the Pricing Masters.
Hi, this is Maciej, and today we'll be talking about fear, organizational confidence, psychological factors within the organization which have an impact on how we make pricing decisions. This is like kind of a more of a discussion regarding why companies have problems with pricing changes in general, a little bit of the deep dive into our first episode of the different skills they need to have, different capabilities they need to have, but also why they don't do it properly. So kind of, Chris, a little bit on the organizational confidence. What is it? How it actually works? Why we keep pushing this agenda so heavily as ValueShips? Why we keep talking about that within the organizations?
Yes, and it is very underestimated, you know, how we feel, why don't we, how we feel, how we fear actually changing our business model, our pricing, because on one hand side you have all the capabilities, objective things like data, analysis, surveys that you need to do, and this is one more technical side of actually pricing. The other factor is actually the mindset that you have, how you approach your companies, what fears do you have within the companies, and typically, I would say that this is very neglected. When we start our engagement with founders, with directors, etc., they're saying we need to do all the analysis. Once the decision is a data-driven decision, they will be comfortable to actually take it. Nevertheless, we see and we've observed that across all the companies that we worked with, there are some, hidden things that are elephant in the room, so to say. And this elephant in the room is actually typically our confidence and our mindset towards changes actually in the organization. And we already know that pricing is a big change, right? Pricing is something that can, as we said in the first episode, that it can be a wall, but it can also always be the bridge. And changing the mindset that with optimize the pricing, you are not building the higher wall, but you are actually building the wider bridge is super important. And typically, when we already are done with the research, sometimes or typically we see the wall between us, analysis, and the people who are actually responsible for introducing the pricing changes. And the wall or the things that blocks them is the organizational confidence. They don't think that they are, good enough, that the product is good enough, actually to increase the prices both to new and to current customers. If you don't have the organizational confidence, if you don't feel comfortable with the changes, there is a big probability that your price increase fail.
Okay.
And I think that is why it's important to take into consideration not only technical aspects, capabilities aspects, technological aspects, but it's also worth to take into consideration mindset that you have in
organization
or a culture that you have in your organization. For me, always. Before, like the day before we are introducing the pricing changes, I frequently receive a call from the director or the person who is responsible for the project.
Feed call.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we are doing this tomorrow. Like, do you think that we have everything covered? Do you think that,
It's a rocket launch.
Yes, it's a rocket launch. You press and it goes, right? And you see the results like the day after or like an hour after, depends on your traffic. And you need to make sure that organizational is ready for that from the technological and data aspect, but also ready for that in terms of a mindset.
Rate yourself type of
confidence that they have.
Kind of, this is like very tactical, what you said on the level of we are doing the price changes. In the next episode, we're covering the price change in a sense of how to actually implement price changes. But strategically speaking, there is a very good research, and this is something that serves as a foundation of the organizational confidence concept in pricing, done by Steven Liozu and Andreas Hinterhuber, with whom we cooperate. I happen to cooperate as an author for books, and they have proved within their extensive research, actually academic research, that companies that have a strong confidence factor have greater ability to communicate, to go into value-based pricing. We're talking about B2B companies. And on top of that, they can, because of the fact that they have value-based pricing, they are more profitable, and their firm performance, overall firm performance, is better than the market average. Mm-hmm. So this is scientifically proven that organizations that are confident of the value they're contributing to the clients, they can charge a premium. And if you look at that on the market perspective, on the case studies, see how confident the bigger SaaS companies are. Like when Intercom changes their pricing, they're literally introducing it by, see, here you go, there are changes, goodbye. This is literally what they're dumping you with a pricing changes, communicated why, done. No questions asked. When you have a strong CEO with we change,
you just change pricing.
You just change pricing, and you use it as yet another thing you're doing to grow your business. And this is something, so on one hand is to encourage your entire organization to think of a pricing as yet another instrument. On the other hand, this is more about doing this for the first time, getting it, everything will be fine. There is a very low probability of your entire operation going down. It's not something that will, businesses don't die as long as they're not, fraud companies or, stuff like this. But generally, businesses don't go down next day after, any things like this. You can always do the control C. Yeah, you can always reverse it. You can always, do the damage control if things go wrong. But in general, this is about ensuring that having this mindset of, hey, as a SaaS company, we truly have an outstanding product. We have developed this product within our outstanding team of 40 people. We have developed it a lot since last couple months, couple years. This is the new pricing. So to get a good amount of money for the service we are providing, we need to keep in mind this is the software as a service, right? So we are providing you a service and we want to take part of the money back. Simple as this. And this is generally the concept that I see with in general in life. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, so to say, you're not engaging in toxic relationships. You're not engaging in things that are not necessarily good for your health, for your life, for your relationships, whatever. You're not doing them. And the companies need to understand their overall kind of worth, if what I am bringing, what is the pool of the value that I'm willing to share with you, my dear customer.
Exactly. And I think that, in this episode, we already know, or we tried in the first part, we try to stress out that organizational confidence, it is important. It's frequently a challenge, but also working on the organizational confidence can actually make the company more agile and more self-aware. And also going back to pricing, it can make sure companies with organizational confidence are capable of managing the pricing on the daily basis.
So how to become one?
Yes, exactly. So if you think through pricing, right, in terms of pricing, before doing price increase, before starting the price management, or a week, 2 weeks before launching a new pricing, there's certain baseline, or there's something that you need to cover. And we will cover this in another episode, that you need to make a churn management, you need to take into consideration competition, etc. And this is all technical capabilities. as long as you did your homework in terms of modeling the churn, surveying your prospective clients, etc., this is definitely one thing that will boost the organizational confidence. The other stuff that you need to take into consideration is actually helping the people who are working on the price increase to tell them what they can expect after the price increase. What is the scenarios or type of customers that they will face while communicating that they are increasing or changing the pricing model. And of course, if you're doing something with your pricing, you can be sure that your clients will think that you are increasing the prices. Even if you're decreasing your prices for some reasons, if you're changing, if you're introducing any change,
there will be fear.
There will be fear
and anxiety
anxiety within or in your client base. And you can expect different type of clients, different communication that you are receiving.
But this is kind of more, again, when we are actually implementing this, right? Mm-hmm. So this is something that we'll be covering, and that there are like people who will be greedy for discounts, people who will be like making buzz. This is something that we will cover, but kind of, so what are the like 3 things you need to start doing today as a company in order to become more confident in your pricing and the value that you're generating?
So first of all, you need to calculate your value, right?
Sure.
This is because you need to know how much of an optimization your service, your product is delivering to your clients. If you see how much value you deliver, you feel confident with your product,
okay.
Right? The second thing for me is organizational transparency. So the more transparent is the organization in terms of the plans, in terms of the strategy, the more confident the organization will become.
And where are we going as an organization?
Yes, you need to have a strategic direction. You need to have this North Star metric, because as long as you know that the whole company is pushing into the one direction, the easier it will be for you as a founder or for the whole company to be confident. So value, so transparency. Third thing that you need to cover is agility. And I would say the data agility. So if you know where are you going, you need, or other way around, if you know the direction, you need to have a certain KPI system, and you need to have the data ready that will confirm your assumption. So if you want to build your confidence in the organization, you need a data system that will help or that will support your hypothesis, and that will objectively confirm if you're actually pushing into the right direction, or maybe it's just a bias and you do not, and if you don't have the data, you can't challenge
the attribution model, kind of the attribution of the pricing in the business outcomes.
Exactly, right? So you need to have the data that will support it, and then can actually attribute your price changes to the success of the company.
So we have a strategy of the overall strategy of the organization, where we want to go, in which customers we are targeting, like all these things that are kind of, I think that most organizations more or less have it. The second layer to it is like the quantified value proposition. So again, what is the overall value pool that I'm bringing? What is the differentiated value that I'm bringing? What is the willingness to pay? And all this kind
data,
of
right?
Do your research right. So this is kind of from strategy to value, from value to price. Then there is the certain data mechanisms of control. And fourth is the overall agility, in a sense of and how we cooperate as an organization. Do we have someone responsible for the pricing function? Do we have someone in the organization doing the thing, right? This is kind of capturing this, right?
Yes,
anything else?
Transparency throughout the whole organization. I think one additional layer that is actually I don't know if it's not the most important, would boost confidence, actually your clients boost your confidence. So if you want to make sure that you are doing good work, if you want to make sure that clients actually value your product, not only because just they get used to it and then, you know, they forget about the price and they're just monthly paying for it whatsoever. If you want to boost your confidence, or if you want to check if you're actually doing good work, talk to your clients. And I'm not talking about, you know, surveys. Of course, NPS, stuff like that, this is the other bucket. But make sure to not save, but to book, I don't know, 10 hours a quarter, 20 hours a quarter, to talk to the people who are paying your bills.
The customer development process, but on your current customers.
On your current customers. Talk to them, ask them questions, deep dive on the fears that they have, or deep dive on the concerns with regards to the tool, but also deep dive on the positive thing. Ask them how you are helping them, how vital your tool is for their success.
What is the ROI they receive?
Exactly. The more you speak with your customers, if you're doing a good job, the more confident you will become. And you know, it's actually, it was a very nice insight for me, going from the big corporate world to a bit more SMB focused market. That whenever I'm asking my clients if they are talking to their customers, they say yes, always. We hear our customers, but how we are doing? So we have an NPS. Fantastic, great that you have NPS. What was the last time that you did, I don't know, focus group or IDI with your customers? So in-depth interview. Yeah, we are doing that. When was the last time? Yeah, 4 years ago, when we were introducing a feature or a new plan. If you want to boost your confidence in the organization, you need to be close to your clients, because then you know what to expect if you're changing something.
So this is like they hear, but they don't listen effectively, right?
Exactly,
they have this system of like net promoter score, customer satisfaction scores, you know, feedback,
from the it might be
churn surveys, you know, reasons for churn, all these things, like exit interviews. They're doing this, but they are also focusing on the bad stuff, not necessarily focusing on the good stuff, on the real customer base that really sees the value. Because a customer that leaves is not necessarily your right customer. You want to have this, you want to analyze this cohort that is with you for like 5 years already, and people who are really see the actual value created, right? So what we have covered. Another thing that I think we can wrap this episode for today is experience. So the more things you do with pricing in general, the probability of you being more comfortable with price changes increases. So basically, this is like the first time when we're doing the pricing, when any company does, and if like they had their customers grandfathered and they are starting to do anything with the pricing, most likely this is like you have the CEO call, like, Chris, is everything fine? Are you super sure that we're good to go? And they implement. They're like 3 months, and they're like, psst, do we have any more of this pricing? You know, like this drive that you're getting is like, psst, do we have any more of this? And this first vitamin shot of pricing is literally making them, whoa, it's a lever, it's a powerful lever that I can pull. And they want to get more and more. Obviously, the every next pricing change will become less impactful, but when you do it regularly, when you increase prices regularly, you know the research that is the overall growth rate increases. So it comes with an experience. So you kind of need to do the pilot. You kind of need to do it for the first time, and then you're good to go. So kind of to conclude the whole episode, we have strategy, alignment with the overall strategy. Does your pricing really support your strategy, where you want to be? Secondly, the value, the actual value created, calculated value drivers, the transparency in data, in the organization, in ownership, right? The agility of the organization, the customer feedback, but a good customer feedback, qualitative customer feedback. So kind of how to understand where you are in the value chain of the customer. And the last but not least is simple as this: experience, right? Experience of doing these things regularly, or at least having an experience that I have done it some time ago, and I kind of feel confident on, okay, nothing bad will happen, because at the end of the day, nothing bad will happen.
Yes, if you do your homework right, nothing but can happen. So thank you for today, and see you in the next Pricing Masters.
Yeah, and I have the book, which I think is a good one for this. This is like Selling Value from Mark Steaming. We have recommended the author, and I do believe selling value is how to win more deals at higher prices. There is an organizational confidence factor included here, but I also, on top of this book, I would recommend to read the academic research paper from Stephen Liozzi and Andreas Hinterhuber on organizational confidence factor in pricing. Well written, very easy language, and it actually grabs the essence of what we're talking about today. Thank you. Keep in mind to subscribe to the channel, and see you on our next episodes about implementation and how to communicate the price changes to your customers. Bye.
Bye.